Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you from Texas Plumbing in Richardson, Texas. And today we're talking about water heaters, electric water heaters. So electric water heaters, the good thing about electric water heaters, there's not a ton of parts to them. These are a product that you can actually work on yourself. Now, if you start at the top, and that might be the best way to do it, you've got the ball valve. That is one of the most important things that you need to know about, because you need to be able to turn that water off to your water heater if your water heater leaks, if it bursts, or if you've got a problem on a hot water line anywhere in your house. Now, if it's a ball valve, which has a lever on it, and you can turn that a quarter of a turn, that is going to be your best way to shut off the water on your hot water side. If you have a gate valve, I recommend not using it. We run into issues where we try to close the gate valve. When we go to open it back up, the stem is damaged and it will not open it up. So we can't turn the hot water back onto someone's house. So check and see what you have. But guys, I'll tell you this, check it now. You want to know how to turn that water off in case of an emergency. You don't want to wait till an emergency happens and think, oh my God, what did that plumber tell me about how to turn the water off? Another quick tip here. Also, make sure you know who your plumber is that you're going to call in case of an emergency, because you don't want to wait till you have an emergency to go to looking it up. All right, back to the water heater. So you've got the valve coming in, then it turns and it goes down to your dielectric nipples, or you may have dielectric unions there depending on how your plumber hooked it up. The other thing that you're going to have on top of your water heater is you're going to have a temperature and pressure relief valve. Now, I say on top, you've got the two water lines that come in, turn down, and attach at the top of the water heater. Somewhere on there, you should have another line, either copper or CPVC, that should run off and go to the exterior of the building and terminate within about 6 inches of the ground. This is a temperature and pressure relief valve. When the temperature and pressure gets too high and pops off, it lets that extra pressure or temperature release outside to, I'm going to say the atmosphere, but really it's to the ground. Now, a TMP, if you've got a relatively new water heater, should be cycled about once a year just to make sure it works. The washer's good. Everything works fine. After you cycle it, go outside and look and see where it drains to. That way, you'll know if you ever do see that dripping, you'll know that your TMP valve needs to be replaced. Because that's not just costing you water if it leaks at that point. It's costing you hot water because you're paying to heat it before it releases. Now, your cold water, where it hooks up, and you can look on top of your water heater. It's normally marked hot and cold. But your cold water, where it hooks up, goes to a cold water inlet tube. This tube goes down towards the very bottom of your water heater. And depending on what type you have, the ones that we use, we install Bradford White water heaters. They've got ports built into the side of their tube so that water sprays out in different directions, and it actually helps circulate it and keep the bottom of your water heater clean so all the minerals and deposits don't build up there. Either through your hot water inlet side, which is the way it is on the Bradford White, or there'll be another big silver hex nut on top of your water heater. That is your anode rod. An anode rod is sacrificial, and they're made of either magnesium, aluminum, or an aluminum zinc alloy. But what this is, your water heater is a steel tank with a glass lining. And if there's ever any cracks in that glass, the anode rod will sacrifice itself and kind of fill that void. And that keeps the water from getting to the steel tank and rusting it out. Guys, you can almost double the life of your water heater if you replace that anode rod within the first year. And I say within the first year, at about the first year is when you want to replace it. And you think about this, if you'll call a plumber out to replace that anode rod, and you've got these in gas and electric water heaters, just like you do on the TMP valve, the dielectric stuff, none of that changes. But if you replace that anode rod and it could double the life of your water heater, guys, that can be well worth it. Now, the parts that are specific to an electric water heater, you've got your thermostats and your elements. And guys, there's ways to test these and check these. Go to your specific manufacturer, go to their webpage, look at the troubleshooting. It'll teach you the steps to go through and test it and see what you need to do. But your thermostats, your elements, guys, those can all be changed. They can be changed by you. Don't get me wrong, if that's something you don't want to do, call a plumber. Plumbers do this every day. It's part of taking care of our customers. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is your drain valve on your water heater. The reason being, this leads up to your maintenance part. Believe it or not, water heaters should be maintained. So about once a year, and on the stickers that we put on water heaters, I tell people to do it every couple of months. But actually, go to your drain valve. What I like, again, about Bradford White, they've got a metal drain valve down at the bottom, which is a quarter-turn ball valve. If yours is the old type that looks like a hose bib where you've got to open up that plastic valve and drain a little bit out and put it back in, guys, be careful because sometimes those don't seal back off. But again, a drain valve can also be changed out. But what I tell people is if you've got a water heater that's a new one or it's a year or two old, at least once a year, hook a water hose up to it, drain out 5 or 10 gallons of water. If you do it every couple of months, just hook a drain hose up to it, open that up, drain it into a 5-gallon bucket. You don't have to turn off the water. You don't have to turn off the water heater. You don't have to disconnect it, anything like that. You're literally trying to flush the magnesium, calcium, minerals deposit, stuff like that out of the bottom of the water heater. Guys, this will also make your water heater last longer. So today we're talking about water heaters, actually electric water heaters. If you've got any questions, go check out our blogs. If you like these videos or you've got any questions or comments, or you've actually worked on yours, please leave a comment below. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think. My name's Roger Wakefield with Texas Green Plumbing, saving you money one drop at a time.